Good afternoon. Thank you to Techplus. Thank you for the opportunity. We're waiting for the slide to come up. Sorry, like Dr. Okola, I don't know how to sing. We are Nigerians, so I will start with asking us a simple question. How many of us here, they chop food? How many of us don't chop food this month? Like this whole month, you don't chop food at least once. Anybody? So we all eat. Now, which means when it comes to food, hunger does not know tribe. It does not know educational background. Hunger does not care about your height. Yes or no? 2, when you go to the market, how many of us have ever been to the market and you want to buy something and you needed to confirm the religion of the person before buying anything? So food has no race, right? No gender, nothing. Now, so I'm waiting for the slide. Nigeria as a country, when we tell people we are into planting without soil, one of the first questions I get is, Samson, Nigeria has enough land. Why are you growing plants with no soil? And I try to explain in the simplest way possible, which is, you remember the way our Nigeria map looks like. If you look at the northern part of the country today, we are suffering from what we call desertification, meaning the lands are becoming more of deserts. When you come down south, we have what we call coastal encroachment, meaning the lands are being run over by water. You go towards the south-south region of the country, we have oil spillage, still destroying the lands. You move towards the middle belt, we have pockets of crisis, Boko Harams and their like, which also ensures that we do not have enough land for planting. So yes, Nigeria has enough land, but no, we do not have enough fertile land. To prove this, as at 1989, Professor Agbola in University of Ilorin did a research and realized that just about 39% of Nigeria lands were fertile enough for growing as at then. So imagine what it would be today. Please, the slide so that we can run through so you have a better idea of what soilless farming is. Now, the next question people ask me is, how do you grow plants without soil? Simple. What is the function of soil to plants? Let's go back to our primary school. When you were teaching us agric, you were taught that soil has 3 basic functions. 1, soil is meant to give support, structural support to the plant. 2, soil is meant to help hold water, what we call water retention, to make it sound tush. 3, soil is meant to help ensure that there is aeration, air, in the root region. Let's see our test. In primary school, you were taught that we have 3 types of soil. We have clay soil, we have sandy soil, and we have loamy soil. Who remembers? Awesome. Now, let's look at clay soil. Can clay soil support a plant? Can it hold a plant? Yes. Can clay soil hold water? Yes. Will it allow air to pass? No. Which is why we don't use clay soil to grow. We go to sandy soil. Can sandy soil hold a plant well? No. Can it hold water? No. Will it allow water to pass? Will it allow air to pass? Yes. So it only gets 1 out of 3. Hence, we don't use sandy soil for growing. Loamy soil. Loamy soil can hold water, allow air to pass, at the same time, support the plants. Are we still together? Which means loamy soil becomes the best soil for growing. Now, this is the question. Can you think of anything that can perform the functions of holding a plant, retain water, allow air to pass, and yet it is not soil? Who can think of anything? Anybody? Something that can hold a plant, one, hold water, allow air to pass, yet it is not loamy soil. Who can think of something? Styrofoam, it has to be combined with something. Cotton wool, over time it will become soggy. Okay, awesome. What else? Thank you. No, it is an example. How many of you know coconut fiber? Coconut fiber. You all know coconut fiber. Normally, you throw away the fibers, don't you? Now, that fiber is not soil, right? If I grind it and I use it to plant something, will it grow? Think about it. If I pack it inside a container and I use it to plant something, will it grow? Can it? Yes, it can actually support. Will air pass? Yes. So yes, it will grow. Your charcoal. So when we say soilless farming, we are saying we are planting without using soil. Okay. So let's. Now, why soilless farming first? We needed to understand the problem we are in Nigeria. According to statistics, we are about 198 million today, according to stats. And the question I ask people is, we were told that by the year 2050, we would be about 400 million Nigerians. And the question is, can we feed ourselves well today? Yes or no? No. If we cannot feed ourselves well today, how do we feed ourselves then? So we already understand there is a problem. Two, we understand that there is a need. Now, this is what we have realized over time is there is hunger of people not having food to eat. Unfortunately, when people become richer, they move from hungry to obesity. Meaning, they are not buying healthier foods. They are just buying whatever it is that fills the stomach and fulfills the status level of you are rich. So there is a need not just to provide food, but to provide healthy food. Then, we also understand the trend in agriculture. The trend being of the trend generally. People want to do things faster. I am not sure how many people here would be willing to pick up hoes and cutlass to go to a farm. It doesn't make sense. In a world where you can fly from Lagos to Abuja in a bit, using the airline and all of that, and somebody is telling you come and trek. So why is agriculture always the guy behind? Because we hear things like, why are you bringing about soilless farming and technology in agriculture? Don't you know you are taking away jobs? And our answer is simple. If job creation means just giving people barely enough to survive, that is not a job, it's slavery. We need to ensure that if you empower people, empower them well enough to be independent of whatever thing happens around them. Then we also need to think about the future. As the giant of Africa, it means there is supposed to be a time where other African nations will depend on us to get food. Now, is it the giant that cannot feed itself that will feed others? Okay, not sure. Okay. So, all the pictures I'll be showing, this is a farm in Lekki. This is what we believe farms should look like. This is in Lekki Phase 1. Now, why are we trying to push farms to the cities? First, we understand that there is what we call urban migration. The guys in Oja or in Abeokuta want to move to Abeokuta. The guys in Abeokuta want to move to Lagos. You guys in Lagos want to go to the US. The guys in US want to go and join Dr. Okolo in space. We don't know where the guys in space want to go to. But as we understand the fact that people want to move to the cities, we need to be able to feed the guys in the city in the cities. Now, as a company, we try to ensure that we don't want to depend on government policies to move things forward. We understand that the roads are bad. But what if you can get all your fresh veggies, your fresh foodstuff in the city? You know they are grown right there in the city. The road being bad will not be a contribution to food security anymore. So I've explained what soilless farming is and the why. the benefits. So number one is health. We need to ensure that we are healthier as a people. I always like to give this example. Please join me in this little experiment. Let's assume the letter A represents 2019. Letter B represents 1960. Are we together? Let's use the global environment, not just Nigeria, because Nigeria spoils exams most of the time. So let's use global. Between 1960 and 2019, when do we have better hospitals? Global, don't use Nigeria. Global. I say Nigeria, they spoil statistics. When do we have better hospitals? 2019. When do we have better communication? When do we have better schools? Better transportation? People dying faster? Is that not an anomaly? Because our food has gone wrong. You cannot say you want to correct food in the kitchen that is already spoiled from the farm. And the issue is, the farmers today are driven by profit as opposed to health. Our parents, you would remember that while growing up in the village, parents were much more concerned about the quality of food and the profit from the food because they were going to eat from these foods. But today, farms have moved forward. It just has to be profit driven. So first is health, 2 is food security, 3 is economic empowerment, 4 we have climate smart. Because you need to realize the fact that climate is changing, weather they change. It is not something happening here. The waters overrunning their bank is not Satan. It's climate just responding. And with soilless farming, we are able to ensure that we push climate change back as much as we can. Then, of course, it is sustainable. I'm trying to rush. So what are the features of soilless farming today? 1, there is safe payment method. So by next year, our yams will be available to buy. You can Google yam growing in the air. We grow all our yams in the air, not inside soil. And when you buy these yams in the market, you can actually download an app, Snap, and see whomever has ever worked on that yam for transparency. So you will know the farm that grew it, the transporter that transported it, so that if there is something wrong, you know who to hold responsible. So we have safe payment, smart recommendation. We have proper security on our crops, on our processes. It is easy to share. There is better communication, localized content. Sorry, I'm trying to rush through. Of course, this is still the farm. Future of food. Now, this is what we are doing today, but we have not conquered it yet. There is still a lot that needs to be done. How do we mean? Our company is called Nutraceuticals for a purpose. Nutraceuticals meaning using food as a way to prevent or cure diseases. As we are all here, we are all different genetically. Yes or no? Now, there are things, take for instance, when you go and take drugs, the doctor will tell you there is a drug, hope you don't mind me using you, sir. They'll say there is a drug you react to that mommy does not react to, right? That is the same thing with food. Now, in the future, we want to be able to tell you the kind of rice that you should eat that would help you prevent future diseases. We want to be able to tell you the kind of food you should eat, not just eating rice because it is called rice, but a specific rice that has been designed for your health. That is the future. Then we are also working on the design and the time. So take, for instance, today we have farms in different parts of Lagos, Abuja, different parts of Nigeria that are designed to meet specific functions. So if, for example, you say, all I have in my place is a wall, we have a farm that will stay on your wall. If what you have is a small garage, there is a farm for your garage, because we understand that the key to food security is everybody needs to start planting something. Not something you should sell. But if I am growing ugu, mommy is growing melon, we can have trade by barter. I can come to your house to get that, you come to my house to get something. That is a burden taken off the farmer. Then, of course, the financial inclusion, we want to ensure that for the guys that are farmers, quote me anywhere, any developed country, their farmers are rich. Developing countries, their farmers are struggling. Underdeveloped countries, their farmers are poor and of the highest population. So when I hear people say Nigeria has over 50% of farmers, we are not yet developing. You know where we are. Awesome. Then, of course, farm management. So today, for example, our farm in Wasimi is the first smart farm in Nigeria. Everything is controlled with remote controls. So the guys we have on the farm don't have to go there and start. The remotes are there to control the farm. But we put them on the farm to monitor, because when you work with machines and systems, something might fail, especially in the country where we have 24 hours light. You get the gist. Okay. Oh, that has jumped. So, for example, this is a tomatoes farm. Just want to just give an example. So, how do we ensure food security as we get into the future? One, for the farmer, that is us, Abi. Now we be farmers. Food production for us, we believe it must be healthy for first the farmer. It must be healthy for the consumer, and the process must also be healthy for the environment. So as farmers, we always tell people, we tell fellow farmers, take responsibility. Now, for the people, you, accept your responsibility too. How many of you here can boldly say, for this month of November, I have never thrown away food? I have not thrown away food, rather, this month of November. How many of us? So when we are shouting food security, see the guys that their hands are down, you are the problem. Because you are the one wasting the food. We tell people this: if you cannot finish it, don't cook it. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Accept responsibilities. We have tried pushing this over and over again, that we should have a way of checkmating parties, especially in Lagos, where the amount of food thrown away is probably more than the food that is eaten. 1/3 of the total food that is produced goes to waste. You are not just wasting food, you are wasting effort and money put into the production of the food. So anytime you throw away food, remember, you are part of our problem as farmers. Understand the role of food. Food is not just to fill your stomach. No. Much more than that, food is for your health. Food is economic power to some people. For the government, if those guys are here, if any government person is here, please understand the economy of food. Let me say this, I don't know who probably needs to know this. As a country, we should not focus on growing everything. We can focus on 3-4 crops. A state can pick a single crop, and we work on that single crop. I guarantee you, if we can all work on one single crop, before you know what is happening, we are going to have an economic emancipation at the end of the day. For the school, we are having a round table with different universities today because we want to try to ensure that the curriculums are changed. It's of no use to go to school, spend 4 years studying a course for a job that does not exist, especially in the agricultural sector. Thank you for your time.